Hi friends, this is Madhavi with you from the KingMakers IAS Academy. For you, this video is going to talk about operations in current affairs. So this will be focusing on prelims 2026. This facts that we'll be discussing will be very useful for UPSC, SSC, RRB. There are a lot of exams coming. So please focus on the operations that I'm going to discuss today because there are a lot of war conflict zones that are happening. But what we have to take forward from this is the operations, another map-based current affairs that we have to focus on. So let's go one by one. So thanks to AI, so I was able to create this picture, which is an illustrative of all the operations and the conflicts that are happening in and around the Middle East, the Gulf, and the Russia-Ukraine region. So this picture will give you a snapshot of all the operations, but it's not comprehensive. I'll be discussing in the slides a comprehensive detail of all the operations that you have to come back. So with that information, please come back to this particular picture and you can have a summary of all the operations that are there happening in and around these conflict regions. And this is again a very simple snapshot of all the operations, not very comprehensive, but still give you a brief idea about all the operations with the map. Again, friends, focus. One thing is the current affairs based on the operations, and another is current affairs based on the map. So you have to focus on the regions like Strait of Hormuz, what are the countries surrounding it, what are the rivers which are draining there, and what is the countries surrounding Iran, and what is the bordering countries there, and also this Caspian Sea, Black Sea, Persian Gulf, this what are the straits which are connecting different seas. So these are the map-based information that you have to focus. Please take your atlas. Please see what are the regions surrounding and which are the regions there which are in the conflict especially. And also know the important areas. Say for example, where is Donetsk? So which country it is. So all these things you have to remember so that you're able to be well prepared for the facts which are asked in the current affairs in the exam. Fine. So let's go. First is Middle East crisis. Friends, have tried to list out all the operations based on a chronological order as well as based on a region. Okay, maybe still you can also order or organize the facts any way if you want. I have already organized you based on the map here. So however your brain is remembering, organize the facts accordingly. Fine. Okay, you can have a story to remember every operations that are being said in this particular video. So first is, of course, you all know it all started with the October 7 attack of Hamas on Israel. So you know Israel was occupying the West Bank and Gaza. So Hamas is a terrorist organization. It attacked Israel and this was the trigger. And this operation is called Operation Al-Aqsa Flood. And after this, Israel did a counter attack and this was known as Operation Iron Swords. Fine. So these are the two important operations that you have to know. And apart from this, you have to also know Yemen. Yemen is an important conflict zone in the Gulf, and Houthi is a rebel against the regime. Okay. So there is an official regime in Yemen. Houthi is a rebel group against that regime. There was Houthi who was blocking the Red Sea. So US had a response to this Houthi blockade in Red Sea through Prosperity Guardian, that is Operation Prosperity Guardian in 2023, and another operation was there in 2024 named Poseidon Archer. Okay, so this Prosperity Guardian operation is called as Shield and this Operation Poseidon Archer is called as Sword. This was US response against the Houthi rebels in Yemen for the blockade in the Red Sea. Fine. So this is a different information. Another thing is Operation Rough Rider. As you all know, this Israel, Syria, Iraq, Iran, those regions are having their interest, conflicting interest and converging interest. So you have to understand these countries you will be seeing in these operation, Iraq, Syria, Lebanon, Iran, Israel, everything you will be seeing in this operation, but do not get confused. Fine. This Operation Rough Rider is a US strike against Iran-linked militias in Iraq and Syria. if you understand, Iran is supposed to, or it is portrayed to support the militias in Iraq and Syria, and of course, Iran is trying to support the Hamas in Gaza also. Fine. So the US striked against Iran linked militias in Iraq and Syria. This operation is known as Rough Rider. And another thing is again the Iran's missile and drone attack on Israel. That is, this is the Iran's counter attack on Israel. This is known as Operation True Promise. Fine, because there was an attack on Syria. There was attack on Syria on the Iranian consulate. So Iran was furiated by this and it attacked Israel, named as Operation True Promise. Fine, and then we have Operation Days of Repentance. Again, this is a counter attack. Israelis retaliatory strikes against Iran. And then Operation Guardian of the Walls. Operation Guardian of the Walls is the Israeli military operation against Hamas. So we already saw Sword of Iron. Sword of Iron. This is Guardian of the Walls. Okay, and then Operation Breaking Dawn. This is again the Israeli military action against Palestinian Islamic Jihad. And there is Operation Northern Shield. This is an Israeli attack on Lebanon, but this is against not against Hamas but against Hezbollah. Hezbollah is a terrorist organization again. This is also related to Palestine issues and but they are situated in Lebanon. So this is an Israeli attack on Hezbollah in Lebanon and this name is Northern Shield. And there is Operation Northern Arrows. Please know the difference. Operation Northern Arrows is again a follow operation. It is again against Hezbollah in the southern Lebanon. And then is the Operation Epic Fury. So this is the recent operation that you will be coming across. So this is a joint US-Israeli air and missile campaign against Iran. So it's an all-out war against Iran by US and Israel. And others or other operation that you have to remember is because they can ask you in the match the following, or they can ask you simply what is this Operation Spring Shield is about, or they can ask you Operation Spring Shield, Breaking Dawn, Northern Shield, Northern Arrows in a match the following also. So you have to be well prepared to understand other operations also in the region. So you have to understand Turkey. There is a Kurdistan movement or a separatist movement in Turkey. This is spanning across Syria, Iraq, Iran, and all. It is a Turkey's all-out operation against this Kurdish militant, okay, in Syria and Iraq. So the operations related to that is Operation Spring Shield. This is the Turkey's military action against this Kurdish militants in Syria, and because Syria is Turkey is thinking that Syria is supporting them. And Operation Claw Lock is again Turkey's military operation against Kurdish militants in Iraq. Fine. And another is, if you understand, Operation UNIFOR. It is a acronym of ASPIDES. Okay, so it's a EU naval mission protecting the Red Sea shipping. We already saw the Red Sea campaign by US. Fine. If you remember, what is it? Operation Prosperity Guardian. Fine. Okay. And then Operation Rough Rider. This is a US air campaign against the Houthis in Yemen. Again, we saw this Houthis blockading Red Sea, and we saw this Prosperity Guardian as the operation. Again, another operation is Rough Rider. This is a US air campaign against Houthis in Yemen. Okay, another thing is, this is an old thing, but still you have to remember this operation also. Operation Deterring Aggression or Operation Roaring Lion. This happened in 2024-2025. This resulted in the fall of Assad regime in Syria. Okay, so this is the operation that was uh, that was happening in Syria. Fine. And then you have to remember this India's rescue operation. 3 rescue operations recently happened. There are a lot of operations even in Sudan, even Turkey's, when the Turkey earthquake happened. Please comment which operation was that. Okay, Operation Sindhu is a rescue operation in Iran. Operation Ajay is a rescue operation in Israel. Operation Ganga is a rescue operation of Indians from the Ukraine. So it is we are helping the Indians, the diaspora, the tourists, the other people who are having Indian origin also to come back or if they are willing to to escape from that conflict zone, they can come back. Fine. We have used our Air India flights and all to take them from there. Okay. And then comes the Russia-Ukraine war. So these are the operation. Again, you have to remember all these things. Special military operation. Okay, so this is a simple name that Russia used for its invasion of Ukraine. Then Operation Z or Z campaign. This is again Russia military campaign against Ukraine. And there is Operation Donbas offensive. Donbas is a region in Ukraine. So this is a capture or it is a major push to capture eastern Ukraine. Fine. And Operation Dnieper Shield. Fine. This is a Russian defensive strategy in the south. Then Operation Sea Baby. Okay, that's a very quiet name, but it's a tragic name to keep. It's a Ukrainian naval drone attack. It's a counter attack by Ukraine on Russia. Okay, and Operation Spiderweb. It is also called as Operation Cobweb also. So this is a drone attack targeting Russian military infrastructure. So these three things, okay, these three things is a counter attack by the Ukraine or Russia. Then the Black Sea Maritime Campaign. So Operation Sea Baby, Operation Spiderweb, and Black Sea Maritime Campaign is the Ukraine's attack on Russia. Fine. So and other operations by other countries are Operation Atlantic Resolve. So this is a NATO military present in Eastern Europe to deter Russia. So these are all the operations by NATO and Operation Interflex. It's a UK-led NATO allies training Ukrainian soldiers. And Operation Unifier is a military training mission for Ukrainian forces by Canada. Operation Orbital is by UK. Fine. And another thing is European Deterrence Initiative. So this European Deterrence Initiative is a strengthening NATO forces in Europe by USA. So Operation Unifier is by Canada, Operation Orbital is by UK, European Deterrence Initiative by USA. Okay, it's all strengthening the Ukrainian forces and the NATO forces. And NATO enhanced forward presence. This is a deployment of multinational battle groups near Russia. So they are well prepared to attack Russia if anything is going wrong. So these are the things which is related to Russia-Ukraine conflict. And also there is something which is very related to that. That is Operation Sea Breeze. This Operation Sea Breeze is an annual multinational maritime exercise in the Black Sea and Bulgaria. And the last one is Operation Saga City. This is a specific low-profile intelligence sharing framework between US and Ukraine. Okay, this is to track this Russian missile movements and nuclear triad readiness. So this is all about the operations. If you have any doubts, please comment on the comment box. Thank you so much.